It's Saturday. It's 9 o'clock. What does that mean? Yes, it's time for the Monster Magic Saturday Show. Let's do this.
Wake up, it's a beautiful morning. Feel the sun shining for your eyes.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Good morning, everybody. I hope you are well. Certainly, if you are in England, we have got a wonderful long bank holiday, 4 days to celebrate everything that is Cadbury's, because let's face it, we are going to be eating a lot of chocolate, and to my mind, you can say what you like, Cadbury's make the best milk chocolate. You can keep your green and blacks, you can keep your fancy Lindor. As far as I'm concerned, I don't care about how much cocoa mass is in it. Cadbury's is the one for me, and yes, I plan on eating quite a lot, quite frankly, and having 2 days to recover afterwards. I hope you've all got some lovely plans. The weather is looking terrific, but before all of that, it is time to sit, watch, and hopefully enjoy some magic reviews. And first up, we have Your Round by Mark Bennett and Craig Petty. Probably the trick, well, first of all, the song on the trailer, good lord.
Step into the bar, the crowd's all around. Mark and Craig are here, it's time for your round.
What have you done to me, Mark and Craig? That has been in my head. Furious with you for that. Mark Bennett, if you don't know, is he owns Smoke and Mirrors Bar and club, and you can go there and he does puts on magic shows and everything else. It's a great venue. Go and check out Smoke and Mirrors. But he is a bar magician supremo. It's what he does day in, day out. He is constantly performing in a bar pub environment, where I'm guessing quite a lot of you do as well, especially if you're doing it for friends and family, as well as if you're doing paid gigs. This Mark has designed really to tie in to all of that. The routine is that you show that you have some beer mats, and on the beer mats are pictures of logos of famous popular drinks. You ask your participant to choose a logo from one of the beer mats and to separate all of the beer mats that have that drink on with all of the ones that don't. You then show them a price list where they can look up the price of their drink, and you can then name the drink and the price that they have freely selected. That is the basics, bare bone routine, really the routine that Mark came up with, obviously with Craig Petty by his side. It uses a principle that Craig has used before, which you might know from Either Seat. I don't want to name it because that might just give too much away. In this, the principle is incredibly well hidden. But what I really like about the effect is actually how it is all about drinks and things like that that are in the venue where you are performing, and that's a really nice thing. And the hook of choosing a drink is great, especially if you've got a couple, or you can make it into a bit of a personality test of what type of person they are. There's lots and lots of presentation, there's lots and lots of patter and jokes you can make about that type of person based simply on whatever drink you think they're going to have. Especially if you're doing it for friends and family, you can tease them a little bit. You can say they're going to try and throw you off with a spritzer rather than a good pint of strong ale. You know, you can have some fun with it, and that really is what this is all about. It probably isn't going to be the strongest magic trick you ever do, but it could become a very, very entertaining one, and I think that really is what we're all trying to do. And also, the beer mats are completely inspected. You can be inspected, so you can hand them out. They handle them anyway throughout the course of the routine. So from that point of view, it's not anything you have to worry about your friends and family being a little bit grabby, because let's face it, they don't always play ball. Let me show you what you get. You get these beer mats. Now, 5 have all of the drinks on. Beer mats are sort of dying out, aren't they? I haven't seen very many of them. Maybe I don't hang out in enough boozers. But I used to, when I was a child, my dad used to take me to the pub. It's the thing we put on the edge of the table and you do a little flip. Do you remember that? I used to do that all the time. Anyway, so these are them. Now, these hide the principle, which is a long-standing principle, goes back certainly to the 1930s. I wouldn't want to give a reference to the first person because it's too well hidden. But this hides it better than anything else I've ever seen, because it doesn't use it uses the sort of traditional method, but it's one step away. So it's basically the design of the beer mats rather than the usual method. So it's really, really clever and very deceptive, even for magicians who know that method or have used a method similar. They'll be fooled by it. And normally it's a very dull looking trick. It's normally done with lists and things like that. This gets away from all of that. It's replaced the list with images and the brand logos. So it's much brighter, much more colourful, and yeah, just much more fun. The beer mats are actually real beer mats. I think Mark's just got a beer mat company to make up some beer mats with this design on, so they feel completely legit. Now, I've never actually seen a beer mat with more than one drink on it. Normally it'll just, Foster's or, Castlevane 4X on there. But, it's not impossible that one consortium owns all of those brands, and therefore it's, I would buy this as a legitimate beer mat for sure. The other beer mat that you get is something that you probably wouldn't have seen. It's got your round on it, and it's got the price list on it as well. So how I think it just flies, to be honest. I wouldn't bother explaining this one too much. I'll just say you've got some beer mats. It'll fly by in the course of the routine. No one's really thinking too much about whether or not these are genuine. The routine itself is very easy. It's hands off. There's no slides. It's virtually self-working. There's a small piece of memory work that you don't normally have due to this being one step removed to hide the principle a little bit more. You'll soon get that down. There's a mnemonic to remember it, so it's absolutely dead easy. If you really do struggle, both Craig and Mark give tips on how to have a little prompt around so that you don't have to use your brain at all. And there's a small bit of maths as well. Very, very simple maths. If you can do the invisible deck, you can do this. And if you choose Mark's presentation, you have plenty of time to do that simple arithmetic. So don't worry about that. And also, if you practice enough, it just becomes second nature and you'll almost know it just off by heart. I almost forgot to mention that this price list is also really, really clever. Mark has really thought about how you're going to use this, so you've got some nice little touches on here that make everything really quick, really easy and simple to do. I really like that main routine of Mark's. It is fun. You could just go to the bar and buy the drink and come back with it as a reveal if you want. There are lots and lots of possibilities you can have. It's a lot of fun and a lot of byplay and interaction with your audience. And then, of course, along comes Craig and adds another hour to the tutorial. Only he could do that. Now, the routines Craig teaches tend to draw on things that Craig has done before. So if you've got any of Craig's other 9-hour tutorials, you're probably very familiar with the method and the plots of these next three routines. The first one is post-it prediction. And that is possibly my favourite routine, actually, to be honest. It's not so pocket friendly because you do need to carry around post-it notes and a pen as well. It's a sort of confabulation routine where you name where they're going to go for a drink, who they're going to go with and what drink they're going to have. Makes a lot of sense to do it with the beer mats. It all ties in. It's a great hook. It's very easy to do, very deceptive. The second routine is perfect opener, which is a sort of nice way of just forcing a drink with this. You have a prediction in a bag, you force the drink, and the drink is in the bag. Craig says it's a great way of just introducing the props and the concept. Then you've got Amazon prediction, where the drink is predicted on your phone. You look up a drink on Amazon, you put the phone down, they choose the drink, blah de blah, it's on your phone. That is really nice. It's a great reveal, and also you don't have to carry any props. You've got your phone on you anyway, and having your phone on you can also help with a little bit of memory work as well. And then finally, I forgot there was another one. There's double prediction, which is fine, which is a very good trick as well. I just prefer, it's quite similar to the confabulation routine in many ways, and I prefer that. But if you want to involve two more spectators, you might want to consider it. Again, you've got to carry around some billets or some pieces of paper and a pen. You won't be surprised to hear that the teaching is really good, goes into great detail without holding your hand too much. The design of these beer mats is really, really clever. I'm very impressed with Mark on that, and they also look absolutely terrific. It's an easy to do, really enjoyable trick. It is Your Round by Mark Bennett and Craig Petty, £21, 50p. Next up, we have Stolen by Urbain. This was a really big talking point at Blackpool, actually, and a lot of people have been asking me to get this in. The effect is that you have a little leather wallet, and on that leather wallet is a pin. You take the pin off the leather wallet and put the wallet away. You then borrow a ring. You put the ring on the pin vanishes. You then pull out the wallet and the pin is back, pinned to the wallet with their borrowed ring firmly attached. It is a version of ring flight, which again goes back a very, very long way. There have been so many ring flights. I would say that if you're going to do an easy to carry one, I'm going to mention it. It's Prop Dog's Ring Flight Revolution. It is still, for me, the best one out there. It's bulletproof. Dave will fix it. It looks like a car key ring. Well, it's made from a genuine car key ring. That's why. It is a brilliant, brilliant product. And Dave's routine that you get with that is absolutely superb. Right, enough bigging up me old boss. Let's talk about this, because this takes it in a different level. It is really, really easy to do as well. It's taught by Urbain himself, and he starts the tutorial showing you what props you get. So let me do that for you. You get basically this, it's a purse more than a wallet, let's face it, and you have a pin attached, and in here you get 3 pins, and they're just for spares, and you also get, when I show you, a little practice ring as well. Nothing special about this ring. It's a kind of something you might get in accessorize, but it's ideal for you to practice if you don't have a wedding ring or a wedding band, or I don't know, any ring to practice with. And that's nice. It is more of a purse than a wallet, but it's nice. It's leather, does exactly what it does on the tin, and it's also the gimmick as well. You can show the inside. Like I say, you can put other things in here if you wish. You then get to see a full performance, which is great, because what you really see is how not to turn a motion or an action into a move. Just don't make a big thing out of it. This is very easy to do. Just be confident. Don't act suspicious. Just do everything smoothly and naturally, because there are things in here that you might consider to be slights. So there is a little switch involved. But at that point, there is no heat on you. Everyone should be watching the participant who is getting the ring off their finger. You can make a joke about how easy it comes off or how hard it comes off. That's up to you. But just in the natural handling of the pin, the switch is done and there's no heat on it. The pin can be examined to start off with as well, which is really, really nice. The vanish that is used is using Urbain's own Ignite gimmick, which is a Zippo lighter that is a flash device. He does teach other ways of doing it. So there's a couple of other ways, using a borrowed lighter or just doing the vanish in your hands. None are difficult. And, you know, the gimmick does most of the work for you. You've just got to maybe watch your angles a little bit, but that is all. You can easily do this pretty much surrounded. At the end, there's a little sort of tips section, really to stoke your creativity. He uses his inside jacket pocket. If you don't wear a jacket, it might be possible to do it with the back pocket of your trousers. You'll have to play with that, but he's certainly seen it done by a friend of his. It also doesn't have to be a ring. Anything that can be pinned on a pin or hooked on a pin. So it could be some money. It could be just a signed piece of paper. Use your imagination. I think it's great. The props are really well made. It's been working great. I've had some really good fun playing with it. And also you can keep stuff in here. So like I say, you can put your big blind chips in here or your discovery chips, whatever you want in there, or your coins, and then just draw attention to the pin later on. So it's got a little bit of multifunctionality as well. That is stolen by Urbain, $44.99. Next up, it is probably the most anticipated arrival in Monster Magic's history. I think it is Crazy Sam's coin by Sam Huang and Hanson Chien. This is basically a coin set, which is very, very well made, with which Sam teaches you vanishes, appearances, coins across, visual coin magic at its strongest. And it all seems to happen at your fingertips. These coins in Sam's hands do look like a miracle. It's absolutely brilliant. I will say that Sam is one of the best technical magicians I've ever seen. He clearly practices an awful lot and repetitively until he has everything absolutely perfect. Let me show you the coins first. I'll show you the coin set first. I don't want to show too much, but these are the coins. Now, these are specially made by Hanson Chien's company, so they sort of look like Morgan dollars. Let me show you. That's the idea, is they look like Morgan dollars, but they're actually made of steel, and so they're a bit lighter, and they're sort of this black and silver finish, which means that they don't look, basically, people are going to know this isn't a genuine Morgan dollar. But it looks more like a commemorative coin, something like that. But really, I was thinking about this. I'm not sure this makes them any more suspicious. For example, if you do a coin in bottle with something that looks like a legit 10p, or you do it with a bottle cap, or you do it with a washer, or you do it with something that looks a bit odd, it doesn't really make any difference. People always want to look at that coin at the end, because that coin has done something itself that's a miracle. It's clearly sort of shifted shape or changed or somehow squeezed through the bottleneck. There's nothing like that in this routine, in a way. You know, the coins are just vanishing, but they're not changing shape or altering, so they're slightly less suspicious from that point of view. But also, if people are going to suspect that you're using a gimmick, they're going to suspect it whether this looks like a perfect Morgan dollar or whether it looks like it does look like a commemorative coin. The only real way around that is to have them handed out to start off with and then add the gimmicks afterwards. That wouldn't be too difficult. And there is a big advantage in having these coins made, and that is that the shells fit perfectly. The coverage is great. The weight is a lot friendlier than a silver Morgan dollar, and also the cost is a lot less than a silver Morgan dollar. The shell, I'll show you the shell because I think it's mentioned. You can flash both sides, so that's quite nice. And the coin set for me is really, really good. It's really, really good. The other advantage of these coins is that they almost work like soft coins as well. So they're very, very quiet. I don't know why this particular aesthetic, but I think they look nice and they can clearly distinguish how many coins you've got. So actually, by being sort of quite dark faced with the silver rim, it makes it perhaps a little bit more obvious how many coins you're holding rather than having the rather bland looking dollar coin. But I don't think this is necessarily about the coins. What you then get is a 45-minute masterclass by Sam himself. He starts off actually with a little bit of maintenance and care of these gimmicks should anything happen to them, but these are more resilient than you'd imagine because they are made of steel. Sam then moves on to teach you the basic or the sleight that's used most often in his routines. It's a variation of a finger palm / nowhere palm. He doesn't really credit it. It has been done before by various people. I'm not sure who was the first. And with all of these things, it's a way of palming a coin. It's a very, very deceptive, great looking vanish. And, you know, it's got a lot of subtleties and it makes it look like your hand is completely empty. The teaching of how to get into it, and so on, is exceptional. He goes into a great deal of detail about your finger positioning and so on. It's not easy, okay? It's going to take a lot of practice in front of the mirror. And you've got a sort of a basic way of getting into it, and then you've got a sort of speedy way, which is a little bit like sort of draws on Goldsmith and Harbottle as well, of sort of, you know, the sort of pistol pass. It's quite tricky. That's going to take a lot of practice if you want to do the visual vanish of the coin at your fingertips. That is going to take a fair bit of doing, but that visual vanish is incredible. And I think because it is something you can practice pretty easily in front of the telly without really looking, I would just go for it and just keep doing it. It's going to take hours, if not days or weeks, but when you've got that nailed, you've got something in your arsenal that you can pull out and really just blow people's minds with. And then Sam teaches 4 routines. The first is sort of a version of coins across, with a nice little deja vu plot where you have put the 3 coins on the table. Your participant hands you one, it vanishes incredibly visually and fast and reappears back on the table. You do that a couple of times, and then they all vanish. It's a great, cracking routine. They're all really good routines, let's face it. Then there's a triple vanish of the coin. There's a second triple vanish of a coin as well. And the final routine is the fastest free fly. The fastest free fly is the one I was least enamored with, to be honest. It's quite involved. It's probably the most difficult free fly I've ever seen. And I quite like free fly being slow and really sort of explaining it, and just the trick of catching your participants off guard with it. There's so much visual magic on here. I don't think a visual fast free fly is the best version. The teaching of every move used is done in slow motion and so on. The video is subtitled, but you soon get used to that, and really you're watching more than anything else. It's very clear. It's sort of very slow, how Sam sort of mentions the positioning and exactly what is happening and how he's doing it. So you just follow along with the coins. You can always pause it. You can always go back and watch it, and really you'll be very keen to rush through, which you can do to start off with. Watch it all the way through and then come back and just learn it bit by bit. You can, because the coins do quite a lot of the work for you. You can replace some of the sleights with more basic sleights if you wish. You know, certainly to get some use out of the coin set whilst you're practicing the more visual stuff. It's pretty hard to fault as a release for a good or experienced coin worker. If you're a beginner, I would start off with something else. Although you can use this for a simple coins across if you want. It is quite a versatile gimmick set. So perhaps it is worth it if you are going to invest. If you are starting out, you might want these throughout your whole journey, but you will need another resource to teach you the simple routines to do with perhaps just 3 coins and a shell. I've also noticed that whilst practicing with these coins, that you do get a little bit of black on your fingers. So I imagine that's just like the top layer, and they might actually patina quite nicely. It's rare to find coin routines that are this clean, done at your fingertips, and this eye-popping. If you've got the skills already, or you're willing to put in the effort, it is an investment that will probably pay you back. It is Sam's Crazy Coins, $39.99. And finally, we have Pin by Flat Base and TCC Magic. This is a nice little quirky card trick. You have a card selected and lost in the deck. You then show that you have a little closed peg. You dribble down the cards, you've thrusted the closed peg, and clipped inside the closed peg is your participant's selected card. It's a nice, novel and sweet way of finding a selected card. It is surprisingly well made. There's a lot going on here. You get a considerable amount inside this box. I have to say, the box is the big letdown here. What you actually get inside the box is this little closed peg. I don't know why it's called pin. Should be called closed peg. Flat base is Russian, and maybe they're called pins over there. This, if I can show you this, it works completely brilliant. This can be handled, can be inspected. Your participants, your audience can pass this around and have a look, and stick it on their nose or whatever they want to do. But it is gimmicked. It really is gimmicked. It's absolutely invisible. It's all handmade by Flat Base himself, so incredible workmanship. So the first method uses the gimmickness of the pin and this card. This card is special in various ways, but blends nicely into a red bicycle deck. The back is marked. All of the cards I'm about to show you are marked, in fact, in the same way. It's absolutely invisible. You're not going to see that marking. It's very good. And not one that I've ever seen before either. And I think I might actually adopt it. So the combination of this card and this pin for the first routine. They say it's the easiest one, and I think they're probably right. The teaching for it goes into great detail. The handling, how to dribble the cards, how to move the pin, how to prepare the pin, how to just get ready, everything. The teaching is absolutely exceptional. I'm emphasizing that because sometimes TCC tutorials are sort of short and brief and expect you to have a little bit of knowledge to go away and work on it. This is completely different. He runs through all of the things that might go wrong, and then teaches you how to correct it, or teaches the reason as to why, what you may have done wrong to not achieve the perfect result. And the method requires a little bit of timing and the gimmicks working together. It's great fun to practice, I have to say. It's a bit of a hoot to mess around with, and that's just as well because it does take some practice. This isn't self-working, but once you've got it, it does look really, really clean. It is perhaps not as clean as the third difficult version, but for me it looks just as good. The difference for the amount of effort is perhaps marginal. The second method uses all of these cards. Again, they've got the same marking on the back, and that helps you a little bit with the force. So the force is much cleaner at the start, less of control needed, but the actual clipping of the card is a little bit harder, and quite often you're going to end up with more than one card. In fact, most of the time you're going to end up with at least two. That's fine because of the markings. You can usually just grab the top card. You know which card it is. If you've grabbed too many, just go, I'll just do it again. It's quite a difficult bit. It does look like skill, a bit like a juggler. Messing up the first time is actually a bonus. You're just emphasizing that what you're doing is quite difficult. So don't worry if you don't hit it first time. It's not that hard. It's nice because the markings, you know when you've hit the right card, so that's all super. The only real advantage that this second method has over the first one is that the card at the end can be handled. The next and final method is the hardest. It uses one of these cards, just one of them. They've given you 2 red and 2 blue, so you can choose which deck you like. This card is subtly gimmicked. It's marked as ever, but it can be handled. There's nothing inside it. There's nothing to see. There's nothing to play with. There's nothing to find. The actual way that it's gimmicked just helps you slightly with the method. And with this third method, you are virtually doing the trick for real. Like I say, the card does help you just a little bit, but it is difficult, believe me. The other advantage of this one is that you can have this card signed, and then you're finding a signed selection if you want to give it away as a souvenir. Like I say, this is gimmicked, but they teach you at the end of the tutorial exactly how to prep a standard card like this one, so you can give them away. It doesn't take long to prep them at all, and you'll learn exactly how to make the marking system as well if you want to go ahead and mark other cards like this for other tricks. So that's a really nice addition to the tutorial. I really like everything you receive. Like I say, this clip is amazing. The gimmicks that you get of the cards are brilliantly made as well. And actually, I do really, really like the routine, because you can hand out this stinky little paperclip. It's sweet, it's intriguing. I love bringing along a silly little prop, and claiming it's a nice act of skill. You can really build it up and milk it. That is the one thing missing probably from the tutorial, is how to get the best, how to perform it really in the most entertaining way. If you're prepared to put in a little bit of effort for that, I think you've got a great little trick. I think it's a good bit of fun at a very good price. That is Pin by Flat Base TCC, just $29.99.
This show is awful, terrible, disgusting. See you next week, of course.
And that's it for this week's show, I'm afraid. Please do subscribe if you haven't already, so you don't miss next week's, or it's just make sure you tune in every Saturday at 9 o'clock. It's now time to go and eat someone else's egg, but don't make yourself too sick, because we've got a long weekend ahead and you can grab some magic, go out there and have some fun with the best hobby in the world. Bye bye.